Lisa Clark, and this is the last part of the lemur. This is part number 10. And really, all I'm doing is adding final touches, whiskers. Yeah, that's really about it. I saw where I did need to kind of blend this down a little bit right here. So I'm doing that. But essentially, I'm just doing final touches. It didn't really, there wasn't, I don't know how to explain it. It's not like there was certain techniques. It's more just about little details. Um, just trying to get all the last things, parts of it completed. I will say, I did end up going back. If you see that white fur that's above his eyes, um, it was just not finished looking enough. At the end of this video, and I said I was done. I signed it. That's usually my cue that I'm done. But at any rate, I did go back and finish off that part. It just doesn't look finished to me. Anyway, so here I am. I'm adding those little whiskers that go like under his fur, but they're like over his mouth, his jaw area. Adding the little hairs here and there, a little bit of extra color so that it's not just white. Um, and as I've always said, if you want something to stand out, like a white to stand out, put black next to it, and vice versa. These black hairs are going to stand out because of the white that's underneath it. So that's what that creates for me. It helps create that whole situation where I don't have to do every hair. I just have to make the idea of hair. Um, so yeah, I'm just trying to go over where I think just needed a little extra touch to it. So yeah, that's really all that there is to it. I don't know what else to say about it. Like I said, there's an area like between his that ear that I'm working on, and that white that's over his eyes. It just looks like it almost got smudged in a way. And I don't know how I didn't see that. I was so concentrating on little whiskers and little hairs that I don't know. I just somehow overlooked it. But I did end up going back after this video and going, wow, that just looks like I smudged it. And I might have. Pastels move around super easy. So at any rate, I hope you can see here where I was talking about in the last two videos about how the body fur, I wanted it to look different than the head, because I needed that composition to have a depth to it in a way. So that's why I did that difference right there. But I think it came out pretty good. It looks soft to me. It looks like what I think I see when I look at the lemur. But here again, I'm making whiskers, and what I'm trying to do is start from the dimple, right, in the muzzle, and then use a kind of medium to hard touch at the very beginning, and then it just gets a lighter touch as I go out, so that it just kind of almost fades. Um, yeah, that's just how I go about the whisker situation. I start harder and just move as I move away from the body. It's a softer touch. So same with these. I did redo these. I mean, I don't know if you saw it in an earlier video. I had placed these whiskers here, and I just didn't like them. I don't know why. Maybe it was because the rest of the head wasn't done yet. I don't know. But I did end up redoing them here in this part. So less is more sometimes. I will say that about whiskers. Less is more sometimes. Um, I got the main ones, but I decided I'm not going to put every single one I see because I think it would just draw your eye to it. I don't want that. I don't want the whiskers to be the focal point of this lemur. If I had it to do it all over again, I definitely learned better how to put layers down for fur. Understanding that there's lots of colors in that gray fur. There's not just gray. There's tan, there's a darker brown, there's black, there's white, and of course gray. So I would probably not feel so overwhelmed that it will come together. It just takes layers That's what I learned with the fur on this guy. Um, and I wished I would have continued the detail that I'm doing there all the way across, making those hairs more defined in the white, going from the white to the gray of his head. Um, I'm not sure how I overlooked that, but it happens. It's not a big deal. It's not. It didn't ruin it. It just looks a little incomplete over there for me. Um, so anyway, I did end up going and fixing it. So yeah, what a journey this lemur was. I would definitely do something like this little critter again. Um, it was fun. I was very happy with the way it ended. I'm glad I did it. At first, I thought, what am I doing with all this fur? But really, if you just take it part by part, it's not as overwhelming. Um, and that's the best way to look at it. Don't look at the whole mountain. Just look at the step ahead of you. Just the first step ahead of you, and do that step. You'll get to the top. You'll get to the top of that mountain eventually. It's just a little bit at a time. I'm currently looking at my bearded dragon who thinks he's starving. And so that's Fred. I just thought I'd introduce him. He's a good dude. He's eating his greens. He's already had his meat. I say that very loosely. It's basically roaches and worms that he's already eaten that. So now he gets his greens and he loves his greens. He's a good boy. He just was making a whole lot of noise. So I thought I would just pan over to him real quick and share my Fred. He's a good boy. He's a good bearded dragon. I've had him for a long time. He's a good boy. So, anyway, okay, that's enough, Fred. We'll see you later. So, that's the lemur, all done, all finished. For the most part, I did go back and kind of fix that little smudgy area there. But other than that, I'm pretty darn happy with how Mr. Lemur turned out. He looks fluffy, he looks happy, he looks a little shocked. Anyway, hope you enjoyed the lemur. Have a great rest of the day. Bye.